All right, everybody. Good evening, and welcome back to another live stream here. Captain Jack sitting in the saddle, sitting in the captain's chair here, and looking forward to our flight this evening to Las Vegas. And I tell you, it's going to be a really good one too. I've been looking forward to this one. All right, everybody. Good evening, and I got to turn that down. Okay, let's not have the echo going through there. All right, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, we're going to get started on Colorado 1 here. We're going to be Southwest Airlines Flight 1019 to Las Vegas. And I need to turn down one more little monitor there. And we've already loaded up with fuel. We're going to get started on our passengers and bagging. So we'll go ahead and go back into the flight deck here. And let's start loading. Okay, hang on. I got to get rid of that. Yeah, that's always the thing. Too many buttons pushed. I'll start loading our luggage and packages. And Graham, good morning, good evening to Jay. Glad to see you guys in here tonight. Those of you who are just joining us maybe for the first time, we've got a live chat going on. Would love to see you say hello on that. Let's go ahead and proceed through our setup here. All right, we're looking for 148 passengers. Let's board them. We've already boarded the fuel. The fuel has been loaded. Jay says, I sound awesome tonight. Jay, thanks. I've got a new microphone set up. I continue to try to expand and explore some new possibilities here with the simulator. And pretty soon I'm going to have a green screen behind me so that it'll look like I'm actually sitting in a 737 cockpit. I experimented with that a little bit over the past week, and I wasn't real satisfied with the results, so you still see the back of my room here for the time being. All right, we've got everything started. That looks good. The passengers are loading. That looks good. Let's go back over to our FMC here and start working on our flight plans. So I'm going to just bring up the full simulator screen here so everybody can see what we're doing. All right, that looks good, and we'll pull up our SimBrief flight plan here, and we'll look at all the deals to go with that. So we're going to be landing at 2,181 feet above sea level at KLAS. So I'm going to run up here into the top overhead, and we're going to set our landing altitude. I'm just going to do that while I'm thinking about it right now. So we're going to be landing at about 2,100 feet. So this is for our cabin pressurization. And make sure the passengers, make sure you guys are all comfortable there. Let's go back to our flight plan here, and we're going to start running some of that in. Then we're going to do our checklist as we normally would. So we're going to set up our zero fuel weight tonight. We've got a full flight. We've got an awful lot of passengers to board, a full passenger load and a full cargo load. So we're going to go ahead and set our zero fuel weight to the full amount there. 121 and .7. All right, that's going to be our zero fuel weight this evening. I've got to clear the extra entry that I had there, 121.7 for the zero fuel weight. All right, our flight plan is calling for our block fuel amount to be 12.7, so 12,700 pounds of fuel is what we look like we're going to use tonight. And I got another radio on there, so let's turn that down for just a moment. Bring back our FMC. All right, 12.7 on the planned fuel. All right, and our reserves, 2,200 pounds of fuel in reserve. Our cost index tonight is going to be 57. It's going to be a pretty quick trip to Las Vegas, so I'm really looking forward to showing you guys the lights and everything. It's going to be pretty fantastic tonight. I actually uploaded some new Las Vegas scenery software, and guys, it's going to be pretty doggone amazing. Shino, hello, hey, you're watching. Hey, it's great to have you watching. I wasn't sure at first who Xylea Cronus was. But hi, honey, good to see you. Thanks for checking in here and hope you enjoy the flight sim here. The exciting part's going to be the landing. We're going to be flying at 37,000 feet, but the exciting part is going to be the landing for sure at Las Vegas with all the lights. And yes, you will see the light beam off of Luxor, and you'll see the high roller, a big Ferris wheel that they have there, and all sorts of things. It's going to be pretty exciting. All right, let's check our cruise wind. The top of climb is going to be from 154 heading and 044 knots. So we'll go ahead and put that in 154 and 044. So there we go. Let's set that in there and we can execute. Let's go to our N1 limit. We'll set our normal 3-2 here. We got an outside temperature of 23 degrees Celsius, so I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. So we'll have to do the conversion on that in just a little while. We're going to set flaps for 5. Let's go back now and check and see how our passenger load is going. Okay, we've got 76 out of 148 passengers on board, and we're fully loaded, so we'll release the cargo loaders and the carts and take a look on the outside of the aircraft here, and these guys are going to start moving out of the way in just a minute. So good to see everybody tonight. Yeah, if you look around the airport here, we can see there's an Alaska airline and Alaska over here. There's another Southwest jet here. There's a little Delta jet right there on the other concourse. If we look here, yep, there's a Spirit airline. I can't quite make out what the ones are over at the other gates. We are at San Diego. KSAN is going to be our origin point tonight. It's really hazy in Southern California, and it's being rendered here in the software. You can see the buildings of downtown San Diego off the other side of the screen there, and it's pretty hazy in San Diego at the moment. All right, our baggage carts are pulling away. Let's go back up on the flight deck here and continue to go through some of our other things. So we're going to check our battery. Our battery is on and covered, of course. Our emergency lights are on. Let's hit our... All right, I always love the little ding there. Since we do have fuel on board, let's go ahead and go down through the rest of the checklist, which I'm going to pull out here, and I'll go ahead and bring my camera back on a minute. So parking brake is set and closed. That's all correct. All right, we've got our cutoff levers where they're supposed to be. Emergency lights, ground power is connected at the moment. We don't need any lights right now. We've got the IRS set to nav, so we're starting to pull up all our nav data. Let's do our quick fire test here to make sure that our fire alarm system for the engines is working. All right, and the alarm goes off and the lights do light up. I think I might have been over-modulating that a little bit, but there we go. All right, go on down through here. Let's set our passenger and seatbelt signs. They are already on auto and set. Our electric hydraulic pumps are off. Our engine hydraulic pumps are on. Our yaw damper is on. Let's set our window heat so our windows, of course, don't fog up and everything. I'm going to go ahead and turn the probe heat on now, even though we really don't need it in San Diego, but we will when we get a little higher in the air. All right, continuing on through the checklist, we're going to turn on the left or aft fuel pump. And we're going to turn on our APU, our auxiliary power unit, which will power the aircraft here momentarily. Okay, we've got that going. I'm going to minimize our chart here. We're going to turn our APU on. Our engine bleeds are going to come on. Our recirc fan is on, and our isolation valve is going to open at the moment. All right, that's good. Okay, our altimeter. Let's go ahead and set our altimeter as we continue on through the pre-flight checklist here. All right, our altimeter, I set that a little while ago, so it's set at 29.91 inches, and that is corresponding to what I saw at the airport a few minutes ago. All right, our transponder, we'll turn it on, and our transponder should be set to 1200. We're not using VATSIM tonight. I'm thinking probably next week we will be using VATSIM, the air traffic control system. So there we go. All right, let's continue on through here. Let's see how our passenger load is going. Okay, we've got 2 passengers left to board, so that's good. We can start also going through our FMC for the rest. All right, 18.6. Let me see. Yeah, that's correct. So 18.6, now that everything is loaded, that means we're going to set our trim to 6.55, which is actually kind of high. We're kind of in the area right there. Okay, we've set our takeoff trim, and that is good. All right, let's see. Where am I now? Okay. I'm going to set our cruise altitude. And our cruise altitude, once again, looking at the SimBrief chart, is going to be 37,000 feet. So we'll set 37,000 feet in the aircraft pressurization gauge. And we'll set 37,000 feet on the climb altitude. Normally, if we had air traffic control, we would not do this at this time. But we would set the altitude that they cleared us to. However, we're going to go ahead, since we're not using VATSIM tonight, and do 37,000 feet, which is our altitude. All right, let's go through the rest of the setup. Okay, I'm not going to set my V speeds just yet, so we're going to depart. Let's look at our flight plan on runway 27. So that'll be the runway actually off behind us. Our SID, our standard instrument departure, is going to be Padres 2, probably named after the baseball team, right? And then the transition is going to be chicken. All right, we'll go ahead and set that. Let's go back to our arrival. Now, because we want to do the special nighttime arrival into Las Vegas, and this is the one that's the most fun, is we want to come in on runway NAV-Z 1919R. So we're going to set that. All right. And we're going to come in via the Rounders 1 star, or standard arrival. Okay, there's Rounders 1. I know that we do want to do that one in our... Okay, our transition will be Meissen. That's good. Let's go back and look through the legs. Make sure we don't have any discontinuities or any vectors. And there's a vector. That's what normally where air traffic control would give us a directional vector to get to where we want it. All right, so we're looking good. I'm going to come in on runway 19 right. This is going to be pretty spectacular, folks. I actually flew this route yesterday just to give it a little practice, and it's a lot of fun coming in on the route that we're going to be coming in on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close our SimBrief panel for the moment, and we're going to release our jetway. So let's send the jet. No, wait, come back here. Not that one. Let's release our jetway. All right, the jetway is releasing away, and we're going to close the door. So we'll go back into our FMC system, and we're going to close the door, and all the other doors are closed, which we can also check on this panel up on the overhead. All right, let's go through the rest of our checklist before we set up our pushback. All right, we'll need to set the MCP. We're going to be needing a course of 2.7. Let me go back. What was that? 2.74. For the runway heading, our departure course and heading. And we'll verify that once we get back over to the runway. Once again, welcome tonight, guys. We're flying San Diego to Las Vegas, and it should be a really spectacular approach. And then another cool thing that will happen is as we take off here, we're going to fly out over the ocean and fly up and over Los Angeles. We'll be able to look down and see LAX and some of the other airports, the Long Beach Harbor. We're going to see a lot of really cool stuff tonight. Once again, rather short flight, but it's going to be fun. All right, let's go back and do the rest of our pre-flight checking here. Check our N1 limit, and we're going to set our V speeds. Okay, we're going to set our V2 plus 15 on the MCP panel. So that, of course, will be 141. Although I'm going to give it a little more gas. I'm going to take us up to 150 on the takeoff. All right, our flight directors are now going to go on. Auto throttle, we're not going to arm just yet, but that will be coming up in a minute. Let's go back to the flight directors. We're going to turn our anti-collision light and check that to make sure it is on, and it is. Okay, we're just about ready for pushback. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the fuel pumps and get them ready to go. We're going to set up for our pushback. We're going to need our tail to the right as we come out of the loading zone here. So we're going to actually push our tail back to the right in relation to the aircraft. Okay, so let's get back to our setup for that. Pushback, we're going to go a standard L. We're going to turn the nose to the left because we want the tail to go to the right. We're going to select our tug. Oh, you know what I did? Yep, let's come back here for just a minute. All right, yep, that is set up. I hit the wrong switch there, so we got to turn on the APUs. All right, the APUs are good and everything's powered up. Okay, we've selected our tug. And the chocks should be removed from the aircraft. Love all the sounds. All the sounds are just amazing. All right, we are ready for pushback. So we're going to go ahead and call the crew, and let's get started on the pushback and engine start.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead. We've been cleared for push and start. Tail to the right.
Hey, Jeremy.
Copy
Good
that,
to see
ready
you
push.
tonight.
Tail to the right. Parking brakes released.
Okay, parking brakes. Parking brakes are released. Auto throttle is set for engine start.
Brakes released. Here we go.
All right, and let's go ahead and start up number 2. Get number 2 fired up here. We're going to watch for 25 on the N1, and then we'll introduce fuel, and we'll get the engine started. (24), 25, kick in the fuel pumps. I hope you guys can hear this sound. It's pretty amazing. Okay, good. Engine number 2 is started. Let's start number 1. And I had this happen with those pushback tugs the other night. I'm going to go ahead and stop our pushback. And we're going to set brakes. Okay. We introduce fuel to engine number 1. Jay, thanks. You say it sounds great on the stream. Good job. All right, very good. Okay, we're going to wait for that other engine to come up now. We're going to release our tug, and we're going to put our right MC on the flight progress page. Okay, let's see how our engines are doing. They are up to speed. We turn the electrics on. Okay, we're going to turn on our engine generators, take ourselves off the auxiliary power unit. Yaw damper is going to go on. Our voltage looks good on Gen 1 and Gen 2. All right, and we're going to turn on our packs and set our isolation valve to auto. And that completes the engine startup checkup list. All right, we are cleared now to go ahead and taxi to runway 27. And we're going to wait for the Frontier jet. All right, the Frontier jet is cleared in front of us, so they'll be taking off before us. So I'm going to release the parking brake, and we're going to start our taxi roll. Check our engine flight surfaces. They all look good. And we're going to come back up on the flight deck. And we're going to follow right around behind the Frontier jet. Once again, you can see downtown San Diego through the front of the cockpit windows there. Let's go ahead and start doing some of our taxi setup here. We're going to put our auto brake on RTO. That's an anti-skid. We're going to lower our flaps to take off flaps. Flaps 5. All right, flaps are in transit. Hey guys, once again, there's somebody else taking off there just to the left. How about that? Let's look at that. Where's his wheels? No wheels on that jet. And he's awfully low. He better start climbing there pretty quick. Okay, we're going to continue our taxi. Don't forget to please smash that thumbs up button if you would. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, sure would appreciate that. That would be really awesome. Oh, I don't know, Graham, if Frontier jumped the queue or not, but yeah, that's all right. They have rendered everything in Microsoft Flight Simulator just so amazing. Look at all those downtown buildings. And I tell you, the approach on landing is really spectacular, coming in by those buildings and maintaining that 3-degree glide slope as you're coming into runway 27 here in San Diego. Okay, we're taxiing a little fast there. I'm going to slow us down a little bit. A little bit of a long taxi here. You know, my wife and I were having a discussion last night about the reality of all this, and I tell you, they've made this just about as real as it could possibly get in a simulation with all the rendering of the scenery and everything. It's pretty amazing. But once again, wait till you see Las Vegas here in a little while. All right, I'm getting a message to verify my takeoff speeds. They actually changed a little bit. All right, our V2 is 137. Our V1, or rotate speed, will be 131. And I usually set the panel to V2 plus 15. So V2 plus 15, 137 and 15 is going to be 153. All right, Frontier's turning to get ready to proceed out onto the runway. And that'll give us time to go through our pre-departure checklist. All right, we'll come to a stop there. We'll set the parking brake. And we'll watch the Frontier jets take off here. All right, let's continue through our checklist. Okay, elevator trim is already set, flaps are set, instruments are set, and everything is pretty good. We're going to go ahead and turn our LNAV and VNAV. LNAV and VNAV are set. That's our lateral navigation and our vertical navigation that we will, of course, use the autopilot for. Let's go ahead and reset our fuel flow. I'm using a little bit of a different checklist tonight than what I have in the past. V speeds are checked. Once again, we'll go ahead and take a look at that. Our V speeds are checked. 128 V1, 131, and 137 is V2 on runway 27. Looks good. All right. Pre-takeoff checks complete. We're going to go ahead and turn on our landing light. I'm going to take off our parking brake and roll up in position as well. And there goes the Frontier jet. Probably told to line up and wait. Yeah, Jay, killed for this level of graphics when you were a kid. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it's just come so far. I mean, my first flight simulator was using, you know, basically green line wire type graphics. All right, let's see what the Frontier jet's doing here. Okay, there she goes. All right, we're going to go ahead and get on the runway here, so let's go back up into the flight deck. And we're going to let you guys watch the takeoff from here. Parking brake off. And we're going to utilize absolutely as much of the runway as we can. See how hazy it is here in San Diego. It may, if it's this hazy over Los Angeles, it may be a little difficult to see it. All right. I think we can go ahead and go. Let's bring our engines up to 50%. Let them stabilize. All right, and toga. little slight forward pressure on the yoke to keep the nose down for the moment, and 80 knots, and we release. And we're coming up on V1 rotate really quickly.
V1 rotate.
Rotate. And here we go. Climbing up at about,
Positive rate of climb.
gear up, positive rate of climb. We're climbing up at about 13 degrees. Gonna go ahead and bug our speed up to keep the nose down where we need to go, and we're making an almost immediate right turn. And I'm gonna let you guys look out the right-hand window here. Little throttle back. Okay, we're going to bring our flaps up to flaps 1. Yeah, very hazy over Southern California. Okay, let's go ahead and come back up on the flight deck. Coming through 3,000 feet. Yeah, look at that layer of smog, man. I bet you guys who know Southern California know that looks pretty doggone real, doesn't it? Hold our speed right around 150 here, or 250 rather, which we can't really be over 250 below 10,000 feet. Yeah, NorCal engineer says SoCal gets that inversion layer, smog hazy up to about 3,000, then clear. And boy, you see, we saw just exactly that. Looks like it might clear out, although I think I see some smog over there over Los Angeles. And we're coming up through the clouds here. Little adjustments here as I hand fly the aircraft. Nice thing is we currently have clear skies in Las Vegas, so it should be pretty doggone cool. Okay, we're climbing through 8,200 feet. And you know, we departed, I had a departure time of 6:55 Mountain, 5:55 Pacific, and boy, we were right on the money. But as usual, I forgot to reset my clock before takeoff, and I have it as a checklist item, so all right, better late than never, right? Okay, through 10,000 feet, I'm going to go ahead and hit the autopilot and release the yoke there. Look, Ma, no hands. All right, we can turn our landing lights off. That all looks good. Since we're through 10,000 feet. Next thing we're going to look for is our 18,000. Yeah, I can turn the APUs off now. We definitely don't need those. All right. And I've got an error or a failure here on my backup. Altitude and altimeter. Looks like it's going to reinitialize. This is a new failure. I'm not familiar with that one. Set to map. We'll continue to watch our waypoints come in. That kind of shows us our flight path up and over Los Angeles. Yeah, NorCal engineer, my buddy Jeremy says, yeah, you can see, in LA, you can see the air. How about that? Let's take a look at the coast from outside the aircraft. And yeah, we're coming up over the LA basin here shortly, and it looks like it's a little clearer. I think next week, guys, I think we're going to be flying a United jet. We'll fly a United jet, a 737. Not sure as to our departure and destination points at this time, but we'll decide that between now and then. You guys can always suggest something too. Let me know a flight that you'd like to maybe see. Be it on the East Coast or wherever the case may be. This time of evening, since I seem to stream. This time of evening, we can set it up for a daylight flight. New York City, Boston, whatever the case. If you'd like to make a suggestion, go ahead and put that in the chat window or whatever the case may be. Or you could email me as well. Okay, as you can see on the screen there, we're coming up to 17,000 feet, so we're going to set our barometric pressure in the cockpit to standard here in just a moment. And we're starting that right-hand turn over the southern part of LA there. It's nice to be able to come out and look like this. Look at the inversion layer and everything back behind us that we just took off out of. Catalina Island just off of our nose out there. All right, so we need to set our altimeter to standard. And there we are. So yeah, pretty good. Pretty soon we're going to come up here and turn directly to the east. Look out the right wing and window here. Orange County. Another fun airport to fly in and out of is John Wayne, Santa Ana. That's another really fun airport to look at. I'm glad you guys think it looks awesome in the sim there. I've kind of got another little monitor off to the side that I'm trying to take a look at that. It'll be interesting later. I did do a bunch of resetting of some of the parameters of OBS, my streaming software, which by the way is free on the internet. You can check that out. When you get a chance to, guys, don't forget to check out Captain Canada and X-Pilot, also with channels here on YouTube. They are really great streamers. I've really enjoyed watching their stuff. So if you get a chance, you might check that out. Okay, let's look at our progress page here for just a moment. Okay, it's telling us that we'll be in Las Vegas at about 7 minutes before, let's see, where are we? 7 minutes before 8 o'clock. Jay says OBS is the best. My boss uses it for Zoom meetings. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm working on a setup behind me to where it looks like I'm sitting in a 737 cockpit. I haven't quite got it exactly the way that I want it just yet, but I'll experiment with that some over the next week as I'm playing around with these things. Okay. Let's take a look outside the aircraft again because we're coming up on Long Beach and the Long Beach Harbor, which is right here. coming up on 24,000 feet. A little bit of haze still over the LA basin there. Right up here, you can see kind of a white streak off that white beach, and that's LAX. It's Los Angeles International. So pretty soon we're going to make that right turn. Just kind of enjoy the scenery here for a minute. One day I'm going to have to take a small airplane over Long Beach Harbor and see the Queen Mary, and I believe the USS Iowa battleship is down there. I know the Wisconsin is in Norfolk Harbor. We might have to fly over the eastern seaboard and see some of those sites. Okay, you know what I like seeing the forecast in Las Vegas. The winds are totally calm. So that means that approach into runway 19er right is going to be pretty doggone cool. Okay, here we go, making our right turn. LAX is just off our nose. Right under the belly of the aircraft there is Long Beach Harbor. Another couple of airports. There's maybe that's Long Beach. There, I've wanted to fly into Long Beach sometime too, and we just haven't done it. So maybe we'll try to do that here before too long. Yeah, we're kind of heading right for LAX in this view, but we're also going to be making a right turn here. There she goes. Fly over downtown Los Angeles. LAX just off of our left wing there. Kind of pull it to where it's kind of off the nose as we make this right-hand turn. Looks like a concrete jungle down there for sure. You know, I don't know what you guys think, but oftentimes when I've been flying, I've wished the pilot would come on and say, you're flying over such and such, and off your right-hand wing you can see, you know, the Grand Canyon or whatever the case may be. There's another airport right above the front of the aircraft there. See what it looks like from inside as we make this turn. Good view down on Long Beach Harbor. I don't really know the layout of that harbor real well to know exactly where everything is, but wow, that's pretty cool. And then if we come off the left wing as it comes down, yeah, there's LAX. Flying high over LAX. We're about 46 nautical miles away from top of climb. Taking a look at our progress chart here, top of climb, 44 miles away. We'll be there in about 7 minutes. And LAS, Las Vegas, is still about another 35, 40 minutes away. A little bit longer route going up and over Los Angeles this way, but this is a fun route to go. Jeremy, I thought you would enjoy the views, especially over LA here, being as Jeremy has driven these freeways many, 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 many times. Pretty extraordinary. Looking off to the north over the valley there. Burbank's going to be back off over here where we flew last week. Wanted to see if I could just spot downtown Los Angeles from up here. I know it's somewhere, oh, well, right underneath us, as a matter of fact, it looks like. I wish I knew more right off the top of my head about the Los Angeles geography and what's where, but I really don't know that area super well. Yeah, Graham, the weather looks like it's clearing up a little bit. Let's see, I wanted to spin around here. We're not quite far enough out, but the other day, my friend Jeremy, NorCal engineer there, and I were flying from Riverside down over the Salton Sea, which from here I think is back down off to the south that direction. Yeah, Jay says too much concrete. Okay, yeah, Jeremy says, looks pretty real, flying over a true concrete jungle. Glad to be from there, or here, not there. yeah, I can imagine. I can't imagine having to drive across Los Angeles, Jeremy, based on the stories that you've told me. It just sounds absolutely miserable, really. Looking back off towards Santa Ana down that way. Seeing if I could spot John Wayne Airport. I think maybe that might be it right there. And the sun, of course, is going down. Now, if we get to Las Vegas and it's not quite dark enough just yet, we're going to go ahead and make it dark and do the approach in the nighttime. Because like I said, I just downloaded the new Las Vegas scenery. If you want to look it up, it's by a company called Fly Tampa. So Fly Tampa is going to provide the really spectacular views here this evening. And we'll be landing on the strip, right by the strip on runway 19er right. And flying in so close to the buildings, it almost looks like we can touch them. So it's going to be pretty spectacular. And I've actually done that in real life too. It's an amazing view. Okay, let's go back up on the flight deck and kind of check everything out here. We're coming up on top of climb. We're at 35,180 feet. We're at 269 knots. That all looks good. Over here on the first officer's PFD, we'll set up for the flight plan and look at that. Our fuel is good. Take a look at the overhead. Everything looks good. All right, our pressure looks good. Our differential pressure is showing well. 7 psi. All right, that means that we're coming up on the top of climb. For the differential pressure is looking good. Okay. Seat belts are in auto. Could go ahead and put those on. Okay. But once we get to top of climb here, which is coming up in another 300 feet or so, we'll go ahead and turn those seatbelt signs off and you can get up and move around the cabin. I cannot wait for this landing. I've been excited ever since I first learned about this software. I learned about this software on Saturday, and I had to wait till Monday to pick it up, but I downloaded it and put it in, and like I said, I've done a couple of practice flights with it, and it is just extraordinary. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Okay, we have reached cruising altitude, so we're going to go ahead and let the passengers be able to go and use the bathroom. And the pilot's going to sit here and take the headset off for just a minute and take a drink. And if you'll hang on, I will be right back. Okay, I wanted to bring this view of the aircraft up because I believe way off in the distance over here is the Salton Sea. Yeah, that's got to be right. The other day, as I said, my buddy Jeremy and I, NorCal engineer, we flew out of Riverside, wasn't it, Jeremy? And we flew off down the valley, and we ended up over here, Palm Springs, and I forget the name of the other little town is right in here where I'm swirling the mouse. And then we flew down and over the Salton Sea and landed at an airport just west of that. Flying over Hesperia and Apple Valley right now. If we look below the aircraft, there we go. That's the town of Hesperia. And there's this, the Apple Valley Airport. And you know, when I do this part of the country in Flight Simulator, it blows my mind at just how wide open, expansive, and empty that it really, really is. It's just amazing. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. I'm watching the chat window here. Really, really happy that my audio is sounding good. Got a fairly decent pro-level microphone, and I actually kind of built it my own self here on this boom attached to my KLAS Pro 4A headphones. I really love these headphones. All right, let's go back up on the flight deck now and take a look at a couple of other things and just make sure that we're progressing. As you can see on the PFD here, or on the MFD rather, our top of descent is about 32 or 33 miles away, 32 according to my FMC over here, Flight Management Computer. So everything still continues to look good. Once again, your real pilots in the aircraft at this time are kind of monitoring all the systems, talking to air traffic control, making any changes that might possibly have to be made. And I'll show you our flight plan here. I can actually do this this way. This is pretty interesting. So if we go to flight plan on the display, and we go to legs, and we're going to step through the legs. See our deceleration point. Yep, we're going to make that turn to the east at Envy. And I love this approach. I just love this approach. You fly out on the south side of Las Vegas over towards Lake Mead. And then you make a turn to the north. And then you turn into the city and you make this approach. As you can see, it's a left-hand curve. The strip is right here. I mean, it is just right here to the right of your flight path. And I actually have got to fly that in real life, and then we're going to land on runway 19 right. But I've actually got to do that one time in real life, and it was just a spectacular turn. It was amazing. And you can tell the guy was hand flying it all the way in too. So I am, once again, as I said, super excited about this approach. And if it's not light enough, or if it's not dark enough, we'll go ahead and in the simulator we will make it dark, because you've got to be able to see this. Pretty outstanding. Yep, just flying over open area. The city of Barstow is kind of behind us. There it is. And the Barstow Airport, let's see if we can get to where we can see it. Yeah, it's not quite showing up over here. Hi, Don, my good buddy Don up in Steamboat, the owner-operator of Steamboat Radio up there. If you ever go up to Steamboat Springs, you'll be hearing his radio stations if you tune in. And Don, no windmills out here. No windmills out here. There are not. There's that one windmill that's right off runway 20 in Flight Simulator, and it's not there in real life. I actually tried to check that out in Google Earth, and it just is not there in the real world. All right, we're coming up on our top of descent, less than 10 miles away. You can see the TD coming down. So we need to reduce our altitude so that we'll be on the descent profile when we hit the top of descent mark. So we'll go ahead and bring that down. I'm going to look at a couple of things over here about our runway that we're going to be landing on. I'm using my flightplan.go app on my iPad. And Las Vegas is actually right out here over that mountain. Okay, so top of descent, less than 2.5 miles away. I want to get my procedure up. Once again, we're going to be landing on runway 19 right using the RNAV-Z. The touchdown zone is at 2,174 feet. All right, we're going to throw the seatbelt signs back on. And everybody get back in your seat, and we're beginning our descent. Here we go. You can see here on the MFD that we're beginning our descent profile. And we're 100 or so feet above, but that's going to quickly reduce back down, and the aircraft is going to keep itself on its descent profile. You'll notice now that our backup PFD is now corrected. We will not be using the approach on this at this time. Let's go through a couple of more checks here. We're going to go to barometric pressure and our let's see here. Our baro altimeter needs to be set for a decision altitude minimums, according to the chart, of 441 feet. So we're setting our barometric minimums right here on the PFD to 441 feet. And we are descending into Las Vegas. And it looks like it's going to be a little more light than we'd like for it to be, so just shortly we'll make it dark, which we can do through the magic of the simulator. Yeah, it's still a little hazy over southern Nevada. All right, we're going to do some of our runway setups here. Our approach course is going to be 194. So we're going to set our approach course. For both the captain and FO. And we'll go ahead and set our heading as well, because we're going to let the airplane fly itself all the way down until I take over from the autopilot when we're on the final approach. All right, we're going to set our auto brake to 3. The runway that we're landing on is an almost 9,000 foot runway. All right. We're set up pretty good here for initially. Okay, let's get the checklist out as well. Let's set our altimeter. And I'm going to look that up. All right, our landing altimeter in Las Vegas is going to be 3000. And you'll look right down here on the PFD. We're going to set for 3000. That's actually pretty critical as well, because that will help the airplane maintain the proper altitude as it goes in through the RNAV approach, which is all via GPS. All right. Yeah, Las Vegas is right over here, so we're going to make it dark here in just a few minutes. See our descent over the eastern California, southern Nevada desert. Man, there's just nothing out there. It's just such vast emptiness. It always kind of blows my mind. All right, pardon me my little drink of water there. Okay, we're hitting another deceleration point. You can notice that the speed is now starting to drop. Yeah, Las Vegas is right over in here, just out that left side of the front window there. Yeah, here pretty soon we're going to make it dark, because it's not quite dark enough in southern Nevada. All right, we're descending through 19,000 feet. We're still on profile, looking pretty good there. One more thing that it's time to do here is right now we've got 10,000 or 1,000 pounds of fuel. At landing we'll have 9.4, so 0.6. We're going to go to our reference page. We're going to subtract 0.6, so that'll be 131.1 at landing will be our gross weight. Change that, and we're going to set our V speeds, and we're going to go for 30 degrees of flaps at 135 knots. All right, our V approach speeds are set. Okay, we're still about, let's see, 20 minutes away from landing. Okay, we can set our altimeter to 30.00. And I believe we're going to go ahead and make it dark. Yep, there we go. There's the lights of Las Vegas out in front of us. And I'm really looking forward to the strip coming up and being able to be rendered so you can see that. All right, we're beginning our initial left-hand turn into the city. Once again, our descent profile looks good. We're at 248 knots. Cool view there if you can see it on your screen. I'm not sure if you can, but there's the airport and there's the strip right there. So this is going to be pretty cool here shortly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and assist our descent here a little bit. We're getting off profile. And we're going to set our altitude. All right, we're coming down nicely. To get back on profile, because the altitude was holding us at 15,000 feet. We don't want that, of course. We might have been instructed to do that differently. If ATC were guiding us in, but we're also serving as our own air traffic control tonight. Once we come back on the profile, then we'll go ahead and re-engage our VNAV button. And as you can tell down here on the PFD, we're within about 300 feet of our profile, so we're looking pretty good. And you can see the strip just lit up in the software. And Jay, there you go. There's your Luxor beam. How about that? There's your Luxor beam and the rest of the strip lighting up there. That's pretty doggone cool. All right, we'll re-engage our VNAV. Take a look at the outside. And we're going to start making our turn to the right. And I'm telling you guys, this is what it looks like at night in Las Vegas. It's just crazy cool. I can see Rio, I can see the Palms, I can see Caesar's Palace, I can see MGM Grand, I can see the Allegiant Stadium where the Las Vegas Raiders play now, right there. We'll get some more good views as we come in here. Let's go back up on the flight deck. The Luxor beam is really showing up nice. Jay, there you go. That one's for you tonight. There you go. How about that? And here's the airport, and we're going to be landing on runway 19 right. So everything is looking really good here. You can see how Rio shows up real well if you're familiar. There's Mandalay Bay, the Wynn and the Encore, and the Space Needle is back there, the Stratus. And once again, we're going to be landing on runway 19 right. So there's our runway. Yeah, Jeremy, I hear you there. Not a fan of Vegas, but it sure is pretty to fly over at night. Yeah, it really truly is. And the north part of Las Vegas, the strip down there is Fremont Street and all that. All right, so we're going to come back up on the flight deck now, and I'm going to start paying attention to what we're doing here. And we are going to have some replays tonight. We will have replays, so I'll be showing you some really cool stuff via the replays. But there you go. Seeing the Las Vegas Strip from the air. All right, our speed is reducing and we're on flight profile just fine. Everything is looking really, really good. All right, we've set our speed brake to auto deploy. We don't have a ILS frequency that we're going to have to set. However, we have set our course. Altimeter is set. Minimums are on Barrow. We're going to be landing on runway 19 right. Auto brake is set. We've set the altimeter for the local setting of 30.0. Auto brake is set. And we'll go ahead and turn on our landing lights, which we normally would have done at 10,000 feet, but I was too busy talking. All right, we're making our left-hand turn and continuing on descent profile. Okay, I'm just going to let you guys enjoy the landing here. Okay, we're bringing our flaps down to flaps 5, and we're slowing our speed to just about 186 or so. And we're adding a little bit of drag in to get our speed where it needs to be. All right, we're making our left-hand turn into the city. Okay, we're going to go to flaps 15. All right, we're coming up. As you can see, we're heading right for the Stratosphere, Stratus Hotel. Kind of zoom in and look in on that. You can see the whole strip real well, including Fremont Street. Okay.
2500.
Check. Okay, coming up on gimbal at 3500, and our speed is good. And in the replay, I'll show you the view out the right side of the window. Okay, and we're going to make our turn into the runway here in just a moment. Okay, let's go to flaps 30 and landing gear down. Oh, look at that moon. Isn't that incredible? You see our runway over there? And in just a couple of seconds, I am going to take over the aircraft. I have the throttle.
1000.
And I have the airplane. We're a little below glide slope. Get back on the glide slope there. Okay, a little above, but we're coming in.
500. 300.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Okay, guys, I forgot to
Sync rate.
record it, so we're going to have to...
Sync rate.
Okay, here we go. Throttle's back.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, there we go. Touchdown. I'm going to be real mad at myself. I forgot to record that. Nice landing, though. And we're going to vacate the runway. Right as another aircraft crossed over and followed us. All right, guys, welcome to Las Vegas. That was a nice landing, but stupid me, I forgot to set the recorder. So we're going to put the parking brake on for just a moment. And we're going to look back at the strip, and then actually in just a few minutes I'll take you on a little tour of the strip. But you can see the Luxor. Go ahead and pull the aircraft sounds down a little bit, and you see the Luxor and Mandalay Bay. And I'll tell you what, let's see if we can do this right now. I'm not going to be able to replay the landing for you. I've got to set that as part of my checklist. All right, let's go to Showcase. All right, there we go. All right, let's go up. And you can see Allegiant Stadium over there. That's pretty cool. I'm still learning my way around the keys here. So let's turn our drone speed up. All right, there we go. All right. So there we go. There's Mandalay Bay. This is basically the path that we just landed on, and of course the Luxor. Get up above it a little bit and go forward. And you can see Allegiant Stadium. There's Allegiant Stadium, where the the Las Vegas Raiders play. And of course Mandalay Bay and Delano. They have rendered Chris, what's his name that I can't remember his name now? Yeah, there we go. Chris Angel, thank you. I'm still learning my way around these key commands, so we'll just play with this for just a minute, and then we'll go park the airplane. We'll just say that they're having to stay still for a little bit. Man, see, they've just rendered everything here. Excalibur, I actually stayed at Excalibur one time. Rode the roller coaster here at New York, New York. Pretty spectacular. And we'll just go down the street here. This kind of tilted hotel there is really just wild. Okay, like I said, I'm still learning my way around these keyboard commands because they're a little funny. You see Rio off in the distance. Now here's Bellagio. Bellagio is really cool because they actually rendered the fountains at Bellagio. And it does, oh, there they go. There they go. There's the fountains. And you can, let me see if I can turn this up. If you can hear the water. You can hear the water. I hear aircraft behind us, but you can hear the water. That's just crazy, isn't it? All right, let's see if we can see Paris. So here's Paris and the tower. I'm going to have to write these commands down so I can remember which keys do what. Caesar's Palace, of course. We're flying right over the Flamingo, looking in people's hotel rooms. You can see Rio off on the other side over there. There's the Mirage. Hear car horns. That's pretty funny. Let's see. Let me, okay, this is the view that I wanted. I'm not sure how I got it. I'd like to remember how to do that. Yeah, we're looking south now. All right, let's try to get down a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, we'll go down from the south. There's Harrah's, I don't know how to say that. You know, I've been to Vegas several times too, and I don't necessarily know how to say everything. Let's spin off over here on the other side of the freeway for just a minute. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so here's Rio. You can see Penn and Teller. Oh, now my keys have quit working for whatever reason in this. I think zooming around like this kind of confuses it. Okay, let's go back to the cockpit. Okay, let's go ahead and go let our passengers out here. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I should have started the replay, and I will try to remember to do that. I need to set that as a checklist item because I forgot to start the actually, I think there may be a way to do it here in the simulator. Let me see if I can remember how to get to it. And we're going to go ahead and go down the B taxiway. Well, you got a little view of Las Vegas there, but yeah, we're going to try a couple of replay actions here once we get over to the terminal. They have completely rendered, it's not McCarran Airport anymore, it's Henry C. Reed. They changed the name of the airport. And we're going to go to the B Southwest gates over here. Turn our landing lights off. We can retract our flaps. All right, and we'll turn down W, taxiway W here. And head over to B gates. And we will give the replay a try. We'll give the Microsoft Flight Simulator replay a try. Graham, good night, good day. It's so late for you over there on the other side of the pond. Thank you for being here. Great to see you. Appreciate it. We'll look for you again next week. And once again, if you have any suggestions on where you'd like for us to fly, be sure to drop it in the chat there. Or send me an email, ke0vh@outlook.com. Okay, let's find us a gate. Yep, I think we'll go right here. Taxi lights off. I'm going to have to kind of angle us in here, but we'll get there. All right, this looks good. And slow up. Okay, parking brake on. We'll go ahead and call our jetway. And the jetway is coming up. We'll open the passenger door and start deboarding passengers. Okay, we'll let them start deplaning. All right, the auxiliary power unit is almost ready for us to engage the gens and shut the engines down. All right, we're on auxiliary power generator, and we can shut the engines off. Okay, that looks good. Electric hydraulics go to there. And the passengers are debarking. All right. All right, let's see if I can put this thing into replay mode. So I need to come... I've only done this a couple of times through Flight Simulator. And of course now, at the moment, I'm forgetting how to do it. All right. Well, I did not do my external replay, so we may have to close that down from there. Okay, so we want to unload the baggage. So we'll set that to 0 and we'll request our loaders. Passengers are on their way. Here comes our baggage handling system. Next to a Spirit, next to another Southwest Airlines jet. All right, very good. Let me go one more time in here and see if I can remember how to get to the instant replay. All right, guys, well, I'm sorry. I can't remember how to get there through Microsoft Flight Simulator. I thought there was a general options. It's not going to be under controls. Actually, it might be under assistance. Let's see. Nope. Okay, it's not going to be in there. Jay, thanks. I appreciate that. I sure wish that I had not forgot to start the replay. But we'll just have to go with that. All right, everybody. Well, there you go. I think we'll go ahead and call it a night. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I sure would like to have had that replay in there, but you know what? We'll do that next time. So anyway, want to thank you for being with me as we flew to Las Vegas. I'll try to do a little more of the city here for just a few minutes before I shut the stream down. But in the meantime, thank you so much. Be sure to smash that thumbs up button if you haven't just yet. And subscribe also. I would appreciate that as we watch the baggage carts come in and run through the other ones there. They haven't fixed everything in the simulator. By the way, the night lighting at this airport is just spectacular as well. The other thing is I do have a night lighting package for most of the airports, so if we land at night, we get lit up really well. Let me know in your suggestions maybe where you might like to fly next week, and we'll certainly entertain any of your suggestions for that. All right, so we'll look at a few more views here, and then we'll call it an evening. Thank you so much for being here. Captain Jack, I will look for you next time. God bless you and have a really, really wonderful week.